Hello, Mr. Candy here, and today we're going to talk about inequalities, number lines, and boundaries to problems. So, this is just an introduction to our bigger, larger topic of number lines, and then how we're going to apply this eventually to graphs and boundaries. So, we can show inequalities visually through the use of number lines. So, we've used number lines in the past to show what integer values are included. Now, instead, we just have to show, okay, how do we show that they're an inequality instead of just, okay, it includes this value? Well, the way we do this is notice this x is greater than 1, and that is what inequality we're trying to represent. So notice that it points towards all the values to the right, because those are all the values that are bigger than 1. Now, what happens if it's equal to as well? Well, notice how this circle that's at the 1 position right here, notice how this is an open circle. We will talk about all the different cases, but this open circle means that it does not include. If we were to shade it in now that would say that we include it. But since we don't, we're going to leave it blank. The only other thing to note about number lines, make sure you have the same scale, right? So it goes up in the same value. So that means -5, -4, -3, they're all going up by +1. And make sure that you label it, okay? So that labeling is going to come from your question. So if your inequality says y is less than 2, your number line should be labeled with a y. If it says x, label it with an x. So these number lines are going to become important when we eventually look at graphs and doing boundary problems, because instead a graph, all it is 2 number lines. It's just a horizontal number line and a vertical number line that allows us to find where things interact with each other. Okay, so rules for drawing on a number line. So this is what I was talking about before. So an open circle does not include the number of point. So an example of this would be x is less than 2, or we could say x is greater than 2. Okay. A closed circle includes, right? So these are these cases where it'd be x is less than or equal, so we have that equal part to it, 2, and the other one, x is greater than or equal to 2. Similarly, we've kind of already used this closed circle for years and years when we've been doing them before. So we're really just adding on this idea of an open circle. Now, we've used arrows to determine when things get bigger, or to point towards they go off to for forever. So far that we don't really care about, so we just say it keeps going. So if we point to the right, that's greater than. If we point to the left, it's less than, right? It's just a convention of which way you set up your number line. Positive values, bigger. The negative is smaller. So next video we'll look at actually working with drawing and look at extracting information from number lines.